Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our Axis playthrough. Last episode we did some noteworthy things such as finally taking Singapore and thus conquering Malaya. We've continued trying to push over here in Burma, and just generally we have pushes going everywhere else. When looking at Japan, as Germany, we have reached the outskirts, the river leading to Kubyshev, and we are also pushing on Perm, their next capital that they will default to. We've spent MPPs for pretty much everybody except Japan. We do still need to do our attacks here as Italy against the Indians that have shown up. So let's do that. Man, these guys have more infantry weapons than I do. Did they have that before? I don't remember them showing up with level 2 infantry weapons, and there's no way they could have upgraded because they're in too small of supply. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention, or maybe I just forgot. Either one could really be the case. Either way, we dealt some damage, we took some damage. 2-1. Pretty decent odds, considering we're dealing with cores here. They can't reinforce up to 5, I think, with 2 supply. So, should be fine. Should work out. First Air Army fighters are going to move up because they're going to want to get right next to all of this stuff to keep it nice and escorted. Is there anywhere with maybe some better supply? No, not really. Okay, well, coming up here by Mole Mine would still cover everything that we need to cover, so that works out. So those fighters are moved up. We have the planes moved up here, leading into Burma as well. The medium bombers, tactical bombers staying up here. These tactical bombers need an upgrade, but they're also getting out of range, so I'm probably just going to move them forward for right now, where they can get some upgrades later, but we want them to be next to an HQ so that they have the supply to do that. We might as well do some recon with the maritime bombers. I don't expect to find anything, but it doesn't hurt to search if you already don't have any targets to go after anyway. 236 MPPs remaining. This allows us to maybe look into purchasing some things or researching, or well, the world's really our oyster right now with Japan. I do remember very much wanting more maritime bombers, just in case I can place them in a way that can hamper any American submarine efforts or anything like that. So I think I'll go and purchase more of that, because full upgrade is 173 after everything we'll purchase, leaves me with 63 MPPs. I don't have plans to really do anything else that's too crazy. I'm happy where my subs are. Rather, I'd have some naval defensive power in case the American AI decides to send ships over here. I could help that by also just upgrading and etc. my navy that's in port. But these maritime bombers are very limited, so I'd rather just get as many of them as possible. So we have 2 making right now. We have 1 already placed, and this one's kind of guarding this. Probably place them, a couple of them to protect the lines here, spread them out, and then I think we still have 1 to put pretty much just somewhere else in general, maybe forward deploy it a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. I haven't paid for that one yet. 63 PPs remaining. That is just barely enough to get something else out to sea, so I'm going to send one of these special forces here out into sea. It's in a very not safe place right now, but it's fine. We'll send it a little down that way for the time being, and we'll get it shifted out somewhere to the south, because this is going to be my main amphibious area of operations, I believe. Yeah, so we might as well move this one down to here for now. If it's going to wait anywhere, might as well wait somewhere that is actually defensive. Other than that, I currently feel quite content with where everything else that I have is. You know, this right here is going to have to leave here soon. It only has 5 supply. This port will be able to service it very shortly. Not only will it be able to service it very shortly, it'll be able to upgrade it. That's kind of the whole thing I'm going for. Assuming it goes up 1 next turn. I think I might move this so I can get it the next level of advanced subs, and then just bring it right back down before this can recover. Sounds like a plan to me. We might be able to do more damage to this heavy cruiser in port. We haven't really been trying, but we'll check it out. We'll try it. We'll send it back. It'll at least get resupplied by this action. But other than that, we're out of MPPs, so there's nothing else to really do. So let's go ahead and hit end turn. Fall of Singapore hits British morale. Japan celebrates the capture of Singapore. Yep. Soviet morale suffers from the loss of Stalingrad. Soviet morale follows the loss of Voronezh. Germany celebrates the capture of Stalingrad, yep. The Japanese have offered us the use of the obsolete naval base in Penang in Malaya, which we could use to supply U-boats operating in the Indian Ocean. Kriegsmarine would like to send some monsoon boats there to disrupt Allied convoys, and they state that the cost of refitting and sending U-boats there would be 75 MPs at 25 a turn for 3 turns. The base will take some time to be refitted, though it should be ready by the time U-boats arrive. Would you like to invest in the Penang naval base? So basically, if I paid these 75 MPPs, Germany gets Penang, which is fucking where? Penang. Here. Germany gets the Penang naval base specifically. I don't know if they get the town too, but they get at least this. And it's transferred in a damaged condition, but Germany also deploys a Strength 3 submarine there. It's good because I don't think Japan is very cooperative. But getting a submarine deployed at Strength 3, well, I'll have to recover it, right? But it's something that could raid over here without actually having to travel or without detracting from what I have out here. It's 75 MPPs that's going into a sub, plus more to reinforce it, however. It seems like a decent way to get a new sub and some additional convoy rating that I'm not currently getting in anyway. Given that I have no plans for conquering very much out here as well, it seems like it would just be a good idea. So, yeah, let's say yes. Indian nationalist leader Subhas whatever is asking for permission and support to raise an Indian national army from among Indian deserters and prisoners of war captured in Malaya. Boats also argues if we can capture Mandalay, our successes could trigger civil unrest in India. Equipping this Indian national army will cost us 80 MPPs, 20 a turn for 4 turns. Do you agree to authorize funding for the formation of the Indian National Army? No additional notes. So if I accept this, the Quit India movement causes unrest in British-controlled India, and we receive a full-strength Indian National Army unit for 80 MPPs. I don't see why I wouldn't say yes to this. This seems like a reward. So yeah, dude, give me that. Malaya surrenders, Japan plunders 49 MPPs. Cool, that helps pay for it. Axis plunder. Why is Germany Axis and not Germany? 25 MPP from Stalingrad. Germany and Japan reach agreement on Penang naval base. Yep, so they get just the naval base. Okay. That's fine. I mean, Japan has more than enough ports. Indian National Army formed. There it is. It's a full fucking army unit, man. For free. Garrison unit deploys in Singapore. Oh shit, was that part of the event? Or was that just from taking it? Difficulties are encountered in refitting the Penang naval base. Yeah, it becomes a little injured, but that's fine. And we disrupt supply near Wellington. All of Singapore Allied stronghold surrenders to Japan. Yep. Ooh, long-range aircraft tech goes up for Germany. They kind of need that. Production tech level 3. Nice. Italy gets production tech level 2. Cool. I like these events. The Penang one is more iffy. It's like debatable on whether or not we really need that. It really just depends what our plans are in that region, how I see it going. But with the way things are going, I don't think that we really needed that base for Japan. So of course the destroyers are just ganging up on one of our subs, the injured one, but that's fine. Oh, and they're running into a sub they didn't expect to be there. Oh, this one, they're like, hey, we're gonna attack. Oh, this was the guy with ASW. Oh, but he only dealt 1, he took 2 damage. It didn't work out for you then, didn't it? And we dive. Oh my god. They just keep finding more and more and more. Click a damage. Oh my god, hello, injured fucking destroyer. That's the one I hit with the cruisers. And we just, it ran into us. Ran into a sub. They're shifting units around by Kubyshev. Yeah, they're getting as much stuff operated out there as they possibly can. They can reinforce up to 5 with 2 supply. That's interesting. This might be going on for a while then. Because they have overwhelming force. They just don't have supply to really use it. Ooh, they took 2 damage. Wow, and that destroyer had ASW capability. It took the one that didn't have ASW to get us to dive to deal some more damage to us. Wow. This is still not working out for them. In my opinion, like from my point of view. An allied player might just say, well, fuck it, we make more money anyway. Ooh! Ooh! Strat bombers in the Middle East. And here comes some bombing. We took a damage, dealt a damage, dealt 2 damage, and they bomb the Hag, the Hag? I don't know. More strategic bombing, wow, and more fighters. Well, this is the fucking air battle. Not really battle for Britain, because I'm not trying to bomb Britain, but... My god, do they have a lot of air units. Oh my god, they're actually pushing forward over here. I was wondering if they'd ever do this. And they're trying, and they just had an army lose its elite reinforcement and then take another damage while only dealing 1 damage. And now they're running away. Ah, that's funny. It's so funny. Ooh, okay. Plane running away from there, I think. Maybe heading east. Ooh! Oh my god! We dealt 5 damage to this destroyer. This is a completely different destroyer. This isn't even the one we injured before. We dealt big damage to it. Well, maybe it was smart to have these guys over here after all. We'll see how this goes. The thing I hate about the naval stuff is it's just so hard to tell where everyone and everything is. You're always taking a risk. God, they're just completely fortifying Kubyshev. Maybe the North group will be flanking around Kubyshev. British commanders raid Narvik in Norway. Yeah, okay. Doesn't sound good. Sounds like our unit there might have taken some damage. We disrupt UK, USSR, USA, UK, South Africa, UK, Sudan, UK. Cool. African Americans launched the Double V campaign for victory over fascism and against discrimination. Alright. That was good. That was good, yeah. Woo, look at this stuff. I guess because we upgraded the planes, they didn't do any raiding, but good raiding with subs. The subs are worth way more for raiding than planes, but I think planes have a morale effect. I remember reading that. And we raided the South Africa UK with the Deutschland heavy cruiser. I can't believe those are still going. I think in real life, those have already sunk by now. In one way or another. HQ, really? Oh, there's those fighters we heard. Significant numbers of Don Cossacks have deserted to our lines, and their representatives are making contact asking to take service with us in our struggle against the Bolsheviks. For 50 MPPs, we could make use of these Cossacks to form a half-strength cavalry corps at Rostov. Would you like to authorize the formation of a Don Cossack cavalry corps? Raised from Red Army deserters, prisoners of war, and other volunteers, the Germans began forming a Cossack formation in the autumn of 1942, and this expanded over time to reach corps strength. This is a cheap way of increasing your armed forces, so it's recommended to say yes to this. Yeah, but it's cavalry. But still, it's way less than I would pay for the cavalry, so I'll take a discount, sure. An extra free unit, not free, but cheap unit, because what would it cost to make a cavalry unit otherwise? By default, with our current reductions from level 3, which is most of the way through production tech, 68. Base, 80. Although honestly, 68, if we reinforce this back to full, that's 34. This actually costs more. I wish they let me go compare these numbers while I'm on that screen so I can actually see if it's worth it. It's recommended to say yes, yeah, maybe if I don't have production tech level 3, but it's instant, which is cool. This sub can in fact upgrade, so we're gonna go ahead and upgrade. It can't get like elite reinforcements or anything, there's not enough supply here. Doesn't matter. This is fine enough, perfectly fine enough. If you ask me, that one advanced sub will make the difference in case anything tries to come after us. We will reinforce the 14th Army of Japan back up to full strength. We have 2 medium bombers that can target Mandalay, and Mandalay is resisting. Let's take the newer medium bombers, do a bombing with them first. No immediate damage. Let's do bombing with the naval flotilla medium bombers that have tons of experience from China. They actually took some fucking damage from that. Enemy morale's down to 1%, and yet we're still not going to actually deal damage with the Thai Corps if we actually try to deal damage with the Thai Corps. We'll move the Konglomerat HQ onto Lashio. Lashio. We'll move the Takagi HQ over to probably Wanting. How's that affect supply around here? Decent. It's okay. It's serviceable. We're going to send these two armies down the road, because we're going to need some armies, apparently, to deal with this Indian Special Forces. We're going to reclaim this oil for us. Hey, look! There's an Indian HQ. I'll shift the Hanoi Corps this way so that there's no cutting off the Bangkok Corps or anything like that. I want more supply for these planes. They're not in very good supply locations right now. Best I could do here is moving right over there. The fighters can move much farther, however. I'm nervous about just staying up against the border, so right around down here is probably smarter. Let's go ahead and move the fighters down there. The bombers will be heading in that direction, generally. If maybe not all the way over there just yet. There's a chance that we could kind of forward across here, maybe? I don't know. We need mobilization to actually get like this far this quickly, so going down the road might be the best first thing. I think I'll just hand out elite reinforcements to this one because it won't catch up quickly enough to really be too useful, probably. We're also going to need this garrison in its correct position now. We're also going to need this garrison back in its correct position now. When looking at this, do we have enough to set this to prepare? We do. Let's set the paratroopers here to prepare. The 3rd Army has little to no reason not to advance down the road. There's an enemy at Gulmand. All the mud here is going to slow us down, but we're going to move the 6th Army down the road a little bit. 17th Army onto the town here. That seems fine enough. We can do bombing, but there's no rush. So I'm going to take this one and give it pretty much just all the upgrades it can get. That's 60 MPPs, because these things might have to do some naval fighting eventually, depending on how this goes. I feel like the chance of that is very unlikely, but the chance still exists. So let's reinforce the 11th Regional Army. The 37th can move, but where? Probably better just going down the road. The road which is blocked somewhat by an HQ. This is why we need mobility. For this part of the China campaign, like, I feel like mobility is just so needed for everybody involved. Otherwise, it will be a slog. Because you have to spend an entire month just doing this. You know, it's really crazy, man. I could force march one, because by the time they get to the front, they're going to be recovered anyway. Naturally, I'll move the 1st Kwantung Army up. I guess that just means down the road, however. There's not a whole lot of purpose for sending a bunch of guys up here, really. We could send a couple, but any more than 3 seems like a waste. I'll send the 34th Army down the road a touch. Force march this one up behind them. We can place this HQ in Lanchao for now. And that will boost supply on the front to a better condition. Not perfect. Again, I just really wish I had mobility right now. Supply will be a lot better up on the front. Where I place this tactical bomber is in range already. They have pretty decent range. So let's go ahead and just send you probably right there. I don't necessarily want to block the road, you know? Maybe just up here would be fine as well. I'm not sure. You know, this would actually be 1 hex too far away to hit Gulmand, so we're just going to move up pretty much right into the road as we prepare to tactical strike all these points of interest. The army here by Kweichow is now kind of lacking mobility and is not on a railway, so he'll have to slowly make his way past Kweichow as he tries to get to the new front in India. This setup is so slow. Again, I wish I had mobility. Japan actually, I think, needs it more than Germany does in most cases when dealing with all these jungles and mountains and whatnot. And India has a fair bit of that too. So there's that I wish I did differently. But now I know for the PvP, which we have started recording. By the time I'm recording this, by the way, the PvP is started. We've gotten like 2 turns in. Can't wait to get that publishing. But it's going to move very slowly, so we'll get to it when we get to it. We need to get garrisons moving forward. I'm just going to move this a normal amount for right now because it can't really rush very far given what's in front of it. We're also going to transport the 18th... Oh, not operate. Transport the 18th garrison because it's the final one that we'll need for this theater. It's going to land right there, obviously. We'll need to theoretically move some stuff up. Who would be best for that? I might just want to operate this one. Yeah, that would be a lot more efficient if I just operated this one. Okay. Yeah, that works, that works. We'll operate this garrison to just being behind this HQ. Land this one there, and that's all the garrisons that I will need for China, just completely. I'm gonna upgrade the Indian National Army to have just everything that it can have. There you go. I guess we have just a garrison for Singapore. Huh. I know I was gonna put like a Thai corps on Bangkok and Singapore, so I don't really know what this garrison's good for. Garrisons are better for defending things that aren't gonna get attacked, you know? This might be better on Hanoi. And then, you know, just core, and this frees up this as a core, you know, the Thai core is down here. Frees up this Japanese core to go do something else. I think that's how I'll probably use it. It could stay down here until that stuff is figured out, mind you. We'll get elite reinforcements for the Indochina Expedition Army. I'm just going to do some force marching as we go back up north rather than operating, because 22 MPPs to operate an army to save, like, what, a turn, you know? In a front that we're not in any rush on, and we're about to clog up anyway, so it doesn't really seem very important. So we're just going to force march the 21st Army down, keep this HQ here to keep everyone supplied as they move out. I completely failed to comprehend why this sub is not losing supply. It's been at 10 supply forever. It's not near anything it can fucking resupply from. It's in the same exact situation that this sub was in, but this sub ran out of supply for whatever reason. I don't understand the difference, and I doubt reading the manual will tell me. We now have some special forces we want to move. I'll send this one down to the Gilbert Islands. I'll send this one. Not even sure where I'm going to have everything land. If we're more likely to run into a fight, it's probably on Fiji. I'll probably have something land over here to claim this so we get the port. I just want to clear up these ports so that all the American ships can just stay the fuck out of here. It's kind of my idea. At least for right now. We'll move the special forces down to here then. Kind of pacing its approach. It can't get into any other ports anyway, so this will work fine. I'll send the weaker one over here where there will be no fight and it can fully reinforce. As much as I'd love to get that next maritime bomber, I think it's time that we just say that we start using these MPPs to upgrade the Navy so the Navy can actually react and do things fully. So for the escort carrier, that means an ASW upgrade. Very simple, very easy, very cheap. For the Akagi carrier, that just means some elite reinforcements for the aircraft. I think this was our, like, winner this whole prior time. For the Zuikaku, that just means elite reinforcements in general. Same thing for the Kaga carrier for their aircraft. Wow, this is burning through MPPs already. It was especially that carrier one that did it. And elite reinforcements for the Musashi. Down to 80 MPPs. Wow, this shit's expensive. Navies are expensive. Figure I would go through upgrades before I look at buying new things. For research, there are things, but it's not things we need. Anti-tank. Okay, when am I going to make anti-tank? When the USSR attacks us, the AI is not going to do that. They're going to die. Advanced tanks. When are we going to need tanks? We're going through jungles and mountains. When the USSR attacks us, well, it's not going to happen. Heavy bombers. Okay, those could be useful, but I don't think it's worth the deviation of investment into. Artillery could be useful, but I think we're already past the point where it would be especially useful, so no. Armored warfare, same thing. You know, we're not going to be getting tanks, so the rest of this is just maintaining current research and then investing into building. Let's look at these heavy cruisers and give them ASW, give them anti-air to both of them. Now we're down to 28 MPPs. That is enough to upgrade another heavy cruiser with both of these upgrades. So let's give them those upgrades. And there you go, down to 2 MPPs. And unless I'm forgetting something, that's basically Japan's turn right there. We could do like recon. Oh, what a surprise, there's nothing. Recon. Also, we got control of this port. I don't know how we did that. Because I know we didn't have it before. But we have it now. I guess if enemies stay away from a port long enough, you just get it. It's not a one-turn thing, though. For Italy, we want to move up on Jerusalem. However, due to supply limitations, we're not going to be able to do it that quickly. But we're going to move up. And, oh, look, the enemy 10th Army here is actually not well off. It's at H strength. It's mostly anti-air upgrades. It has mobility upgrades. But it doesn't have level 2 infantry weapons. I like how India seems to have hit level 2 infantry weapons before the UK. It's very interesting. Let's try a quick medium bombing then. Even though they have all the anti-air, it's all we can really do. And that hit them, that hurt them. It wasn't even supposed to. And it weakened them. Let's go ahead and attack them with the 5th Army then. Dealing 3 damage and lowering their zone of control enough to move the 10th Army forward and finish them off. That was very, very quick. Well, assuming no disaster strikes, this Turkish corps will be able to leave here sooner rather than later. I could give it mobility. I won't. Just give it some anti-air. It's gonna have a nice time trying to get the hell out of this place after the Italians step on Jerusalem and actually properly take it. I thought that would take way fucking longer, dude. Move this corps down this way to kind of guard the border and step up to the border in general. Supply over here is decent, maybe not enough to be pushing, but who knows what the defenses are like here. Fortunately, moving it like that means I can't recon this far, but I'll press up against the river, because I honestly don't feel like there's going to be anybody in Dongola. What an amazing name, by the way. Dongola, the town of Dongola. What's supply like over here now? Terrible over here. Well, with 2 HQs, we could probably bounce supply off of one HQ to the other. If you want to push on Siwa Oasis, which honestly I kind of do. Let's move this corps forward. Move this tank forward. Yeah, Siwa Oasis. Move Gazoni forward. Move this guy forward. Now he should bounce supply off of him, which, yeah, spread supply even better now in this direction, although it still could use a lot of work. It's a risky thing, but I'm going to force march the 1st Army up behind the tank. Their readiness morale will recover, but they'll be in bad enough supply that it won't go too insanely high anyway. Siwa Oasis shouldn't be crazy difficult to take, and without mobility, you know, force marching is just the best thing we have. Not that we're in a rush here, but this is the best way, in my opinion, to simply utilize these guys in general. Oh, supply. Supply. I want to just keep attacking, but it's not working out very well. We'll reinforce the 2nd Corps here, I think. Yeah, we'll reinforce the 2nd Corps back up to strength. They've lost 2, you know. Let's go ahead and attack with the Abyssinia Corps. Dealing 2 damage, okay, and taking none. That's pretty nice. They're just gonna recover it, but that's Indian MPPs that they're not spending elsewhere. Italy can put some elite reinforcements into the Leonardo da Vinci sub, so I will. It's down to 100 MPPs. Man, this one's still here. Oh, that's gonna be fun to deal with. I want to do some more research as Italy. We don't have the MPPs to really do that. But we don't have anything else to spend MPPs on anyway. I don't need any more land units. I don't need any more garrisons. I don't need motor torpedo boats or anti-air as far as I'm aware. If I do, I'll see it later. But I'd love to get some more research going from them, especially for something like naval weaponry, you know? Like, they don't have naval weaponry. And for them, I feel like that's such an important thing. You know? As the rulers of the Mediterranean, I feel like that's very important after infantry weapons, you know, which they need for this stuff. But I think, unless I find a way to spend any more Italian MPPs, in terms of movements, it's basically everything that we're going to be doing with them. I can move the Expeditionary Corps up a little bit. What is this? Clear? We'll move this up to this hill. Move the HQ down here. Make sure we prioritize these guys, because they're the ones that would have to deal with anything coming from that direction. There's also a potential Operation Torch upcoming to think about as well, I suppose. But that is all we have time for this episode, and once again, I feel like things are just going well. With that, we only really have to do Germany, so even though we just moved into another turn this episode, I think we'll be doing the same next episode, because, well, it really just depends how long Germany takes to do. I don't think it'll be a full episode without a end turn, so looking forward to that, seeing what we can pull off, probably an encirclement around Kubyshev, heading towards Perm, I hope. The snow's starting to come in, so that's gonna be bad. For now, though, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.